It's Bobby Bones. Hope you're enjoying the Blake Shelton album release party right here on the Honda stage in the iHeartRadio Theater. His latest album, If I'm Honest, will be in stores and online this Friday. You're pretty good, man.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you,
I
buddy.
like this. This is good. This is fun.
Wow.
This is good. Yeah. I was
That's
at
the nicest thing. I think you said like.
No, that's not true.
That's the next step to love.
One day.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I was at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and I saw a Blake Shelton exhibit at the Country Music Hall of Fame. Now, that's got to be crazy, right? Like, growing up in Oklahoma, loving country music, and in the Hall of Fame, there's like a Blake Shelton part.
Well, you know what? That is, I don't know. It's hard. I don't even know what to say about it.
Did you have to give a lot of your stuff up? Did you go digging through stuff to give them? How did you figure out the process?
Listen to this, Bobby.
Okay.
So when I was like, yeah, I want to do that, you know, when they came and asked if we would do this exhibit, it's of course, you know. And at some point, it was just not very long ago, just like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, my manager called me. He's like, man, they haven't come up with much stuff to put in that, you know, like they've called your fan club people, your mom, and it's like, he's like, can you go, you know, just see what you got around the house, because they just want things that represent, you know, the journey, basically, up till now. And I was like, son of a, because I don't keep up with anything. Like, I can't even find, this makes me so sad right now, I can't even find the very first guitar I ever bought. Like, I probably gave it to somebody or used it for firewood at some point. You know, there's no telling what happened to it. It was like, I don't care, I'll get another one. And now, you know, so I've done a terrible job of keeping up with, I'm not promoting my exhibit very well, am I? But, so I finally went I was like looking around my house for like 2 days, and I found this bucket that I kept, like, you know those buckets that 3 different flavors of popcorn come in for Christmas or whatever? It's like
with the divider.
The big bucket. I found the popcorn bucket that had, like, I can't even believe it. Like, when I was 19, 20, 21 years old, things that I thought, I should keep that. And it's like had all these, I couldn't believe it. It was like my own museum. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this and that. And I had a knife that Hoyt Axton gave me the day I met him, that he sang "Oh Red" to me, and basically gave me the song. And this little notepad that I'd kept, one of those back when they had the little tiny spiral notepads that you kids, they used to actually have notepads with paper that weren't just the note icon on your phone. It was like actual paper, and that had my first song, the first song as I wrote it on that piece of paper. It was like, it's crazy. So I have all that stuff, you know. It's not, so I don't have big things.
But you found the popcorn bucket with all the stuff. You talk about really cool things. Like, I love the Oak Ridge Boys, and you got to work with the Oak Ridge Boys.
I did.
Yeah, talk about that for a second, especially on the record.
Well, so I was sitting in my house one night about this time last year, actually, exactly last May. And do you know Summer Overstreet?
I do.
Which is one of Paul's 700 kids, Paul Overstreet. And she texted me and she said, hey, Dad wants to send you some songs. Can you email them or what? I was like, yeah. And I was sitting there, and so all of a sudden, like, these songs started coming this night, and I was just sitting around the house, and so this song came in, and it's called "Doing It to Country Songs." Doing it to country songs, in case you didn't hear me the first time. It's very inappropriate. And so when I heard it, I was like, oh my, I'm cutting this. There's no way I'm not cutting this. And so at the end of his demo, Paul was like doing all these impersonations, and he did like a Willie Nelson and a Merle, and at the end of the demo, and I thought, man, I need to get like some people to do that. That's a great idea, you know. And then I thought, the Oak Ridge Boys, because we've known each other for a while, but we've never had a chance to work. Mostly Joe and I have communicated a lot, and he's just a great guy, Joe Bonzal. And so I texted Joe, and I said, hey, man, would you be interested in singing with me on my record? And he's like, for this song, and he's like, yes, we would, you know. He's so nice. He's like, we would be honored. I said, Joe, wait till before you say that, you should hear the song, you know, because it's doing it to country songs. And so anyway, they heard the song, and those guys are so fun. They came in, and we finally had to kick them out of the studio. They was like, "We can do it again. I can do that better." You know, I was like, "That's perfect." You know, they showed up. They're great guys. I don't know if you've probably had them in the studio.
I've had them.
You've been
And
around.
one of the
Great.
rare times I geek out is
Yeah.
whenever the Oak Ridge Boys.
They're so
They're so cool,
sweet and nice
and legendary at the same time, like you, my friend.